Morning, folks. Today we're going to be looking at verse 3 of Psalm 37. Let me read that to you. The psalmist says, "Trust in the Lord and do good, dwell in the land and befriend faithfulness." In our last devotional, we saw that David was exhorting God's people not to fret. Do not fret yourselves because of evildoers. Be not envious of the wrongdoers. He says, you're not to fret when evil and wicked people seem to be flourishing, when they're not punished for their wickedness. I should say at this point that David is an old man at this point in his life when he's writing this psalm. We see that later on in the psalm. He says, I was young, now I am old. And he's writing from the perspective of many years of personal experience of walking with God, and also many years of personal experience of observing wicked people and seeing how things eventually work out over time. And having given his readers the counsel, do not fret, he now goes on to tell them what they are to do. So he has a do not, and he follows that with a do. What is it that he wants his readers to do? He says, trust in the Lord. Despite what might seem to be circumstances that possibly might call their faith into question, circumstances which might encourage a failure of faith and a lack of trust in God, despite that, they are nonetheless to continue to exercise faith and completely trust in the Lord. Faith or trust in the Lord by us, by its very nature, is in many ways counterintuitive. You see, if everything in life were well and there were no problems and you could see everything working out justly and perfectly, there would be no need for faith. Faith is the eye that looks for God even in the darkness. One writer has said, walking by faith means being prepared to trust where we are not permitted to see. Another writer, the name of John Hurkes, he said, trust God even when the pieces don't seem to fit. And that's exactly the situation here. Don't fret when evil men are flourishing, when wrongdoers aren't being punished. Trust God. Trust him even when the pieces don't seem to fit. But he doesn't just say trust God, he also says do good. Trust in the Lord and do good. In other words, while acknowledging that there are things happening in your life or in life in general which you don't understand and which can be a challenge to your faith, you're to keep on trusting God and you're to keep on doing good. You're to keep on living as a Christian. You're to keep on working out your faith in the practicalities of daily obedience to the Lord. Don't let your doubts and your frustrations stop you from living for the Lord and obeying the Lord. The ESV translation has befriend faithfulness. A better translation is practice faithfulness. And that's more to the point. Keep on being faithful, full of faith, even whenever things don't seem to fit. Much of what happens in our world we don't understand. Also, that's true in our own lives. There's things that happen in our life that we don't understand at times and we get frustrated about. The psalmist says, don't fret. Instead, trust in the Lord and continue to do good and practice faithfulness. These are wise words of counsel from a man who's coming towards the end of his journey. And looking back on his life, he knows this is counsel that not only he should give, but that those who listen to it should heed. May God help us to trust in the Lord, to do good, and to practice faithfulness. Have a great weekend and every blessing as you worship with God's people on the Lord's Day.